Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here. Something's on my shirt. um, uh, Thanks for your understanding. I don't think I meant to do, I thought about doing a little sort of placeholder video last week. I obviously did not upload a video last week. We had my cousin passed away last week, last Thursday, Thursday of last week, I should say. Um, and my sisters and I just were, we found out about it Friday morning, and uh, decided we were not going to do our regular Three Sisters video, and I didn't feel like doing an update either. Um, my cousin Judy's family and my family are very close. We're very close. Um, uh, we took vacations together. Spent. They used to live in Galveston. We went down to Galveston several times, and the 10 of us, their family of four and our family of six, we drove out to California together. Took a long vacation in California back when my younger sister was like, she turned 5 on that vacation. Um, but anyway, so their family and our family were very close. Even from the time before Judy was born, my mom and dad used to have a photo album that the first page of it was because of Judy, and it was one of her, like, toddler pictures. It said because of Judy, and the next page said we met. Um, that's how my mom and dad met. My mom was up in Albuquerque to help my Aunt Bibi with the baby, and my dad had just come back from being in the army, and they met that Memorial Day at a church picnic. And my uncle was a pastor of that church, and you know, so they dated for about a year, and then they got married, and the rest is history. But anyway, so their family and our family were always very close, and Judy was basically the last. My cousin Paul, her brother, who passed away a couple of years ago, he has a couple of kids. So her nephew Abel was there in town. Her niece and that daughter's family, they live out of state somewhere. But anyway, so she's really, my aunt and uncle passed away, my cousin Paul passed away, and now Judy. So it's, just kind of sad, and it's a, kind of a, yeah. Anyway, um, so yeah, it's a kind of sad situation that happened there, and so, but anyway, so having some time to process and think about all of that was important. So I thank you for your understanding and indulgence in that area. Um, the other thing that's been going on here is that um, I don't know if you can see, there's like a little jumble of stuff back there because my sister Eve was actually slept in here last night, and a lot of our stuff, our bathroom stuff, is in here because our bathroom, which is just over the wall on that side, had a little bit of a leak. Um, and so, like, the bathroom vanity was affected, and a little bit of the drywall behind the toilet. Um, and 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 Eve's closet, which is on the other side of that wall, the bottom of her closet had some, wetness and seepage under there. So we've had, the insurance people come in, and they sort of tore out the vanity and the bottom of Eve's closet and things like that. So the damage is both, significant and not as bad as it could have been. Um, but one of the things we're talking about with the insurance is making that bathroom that it has a built-in, tub and shower thing like most bathrooms do. Um, but I can't shower in there because I can't step over the edge of the bathtub. So I since we've lived here, use the shower in the master bedroom, which was what my cousin, maybe my dear cousin, my nephew, um, Rob has. And so, I don't want to have to be like, kicking him out of his bedroom so I can take a shower. So I usually have to, I wait until he's at work and then I go. And so it's kind of, a fussy idea. And then, like, he has a walk in shower in his bathroom. And so I have a shower chair that I, keep in his bathroom. And so, it's hassle. Anyway, so and then Eve, she likes to take baths because part of it is, she has the skin condition, and the sorry, the baths are easier for her to treat her skin. Hold on one second, please. Um, but she said, it's kind of getting a little harder for her to get in and out of the tub easily, and it's a very narrow tub and yada yada yada. So we've been talking to the insurance company about whether or not the remediation of all this would could include um, an ADA approved shower situation. So that's all remains to be seen. Anyway, so at this point, our our bathroom, the vanity is gone, so we can we can use the toilet, which is nice and convenient. But in order to wash our hands or anything like that, we have to do that in the kitchen, in the kitchen sink. So yeah, but hopefully that'll be taken care of, soon. Um, we'll see. Anyway, and then Eve had like the bottom of her closet had to be taken out and all of that. So like her closet doors, had to be taken off and everything else. And we had those big fans, in there, drying out the walls and stuff like that. So at least the fans are gone now. Um, sorry, I have something in my teeth. But anyway, so yeah, it's a big hassle. Um, so anyway, that's what's going on here. Um, but sorry, there's the remnants of my lunch. Anyway, on to cross stitching because that's what this channel is about, not about bathroom woes. Um, so today is the last day of February, and I have 3 finishes, and then I have all my stuff ready for March, um, which is both a fun thing and a scary thing for me. But anyway, I digress. So one of the things at the beginning of this month that I was working on, of course, was the Winter Woods Biscornu by the Blue Flower. And since I had a few days left at the end of this month, I did a little bit more work on that. So I think when I showed this 2 weeks ago, or well, no, at the beginning of February, um, I had done, like, I had finished this owl and I had a certain amount of this fox done and some other things. So in this extra days that I had, I did these trees here. I finished those trees and all these little berries, and I don't know if they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be acorns. Um, I did all of those here. Yeah, this. I think I thought they were leaves at first, but I think they're acorns because that's what that little squirrel is holding there. Got a hold of it. And then there's some like long stitches that connect these little berries, you know, and then there's a long stitch that goes on this bird to give it a like a beak, and some back stitching and things like whiskers and stuff for these animals. So this is a weasel. This is what I'm working on right now. It's his tail goes up here, and then there's more stitching on the back. So I'll work on that some more today, and his paws go here. and I finished the fox. This is this is where I had made some mistakes, and so these were off by one stitch. That's why, again, this is the bird with the crooked legs, and because I had to add, it was off by one stitch, so I had to add a stitch uh, to each of the fox's legs, so he could reach the border here, and I had to add a stitch to the owl's legs so he could reach the border here. Um, and I think this cardinal has straight legs. It doesn't have crooked legs, but it's like off, one way or the other because of there's some mistake in here, which led to a mistake in here, which I think this is right. And we shall see, what's going on over here. But anyway, so like said, since I had some extra time, I finished off the tops of these trees, and the fox, and most of the weasel. I'm still working on the weasel. But yeah, so I'm going to do some more work on this today. But anyway, so that's Winterwood's Biscornu. So it's further along than it was a couple of weeks ago when I did the 7 days. I may have done 8 or something like that. Um, and so then, and one of my new starts for this month was this elephant diamond painting kit that my sister-in-law Rachel gave me. And for the most part, I did up here. It's a little hard to see. I'm going to peel this back a little bit so you can see a little better. So darker blue jewels is what I did here. And I did some in this corner, and then I did a few more, like just wherever this A darker thing was. So there's some here and there, but I just did sort of like it's like color completion. I had that color of I don't know what you call them, jewels, out, and so I just did them, wherever they would fit, rather than doing like all the ones in this color up here. I just did the one color and did that. So that's the first. I think I did 1 or 2 days working on that. Yeah. So there's still plenty to do on that to finish that. And I kind of I didn't have a real like good setup because I was in the middle of doing a bunch of other things. So um, yeah. But I did finish, I think I was on the verge of finishing the barn owl. This is Cottage Garden Samplings, Year in the Woods. The barn owl is number 8. So I was on the verge of finishing this. Think I had finished the owl as of the 14th. And I was still working on just like all the little sprigs of green and stuff like that. I think I had one shade of green for the most part done, except for in this corner, and I had done most of the branches except for some of the black that I'd like right here, and all of that. So I worked on that. As of 7 days, I think Sunday was 7 days or something like that, and I just I think I did 1 or 2 more days to finish it, but I finished it. So this is one finished, the barn owl. So yeah, I did all the branches and the greens around here. Yeah. So that is finished, the barn owl. So on this particular set, I finished the woodpecker January, I think. So all that's left is the bald eagle. Excuse me, and that comes up. That's on my WIPGO board. Yeah, so I'll be working on that at some point this year. It's my number 6 on my WIPGO board, so you'll see. But so I finished the barn owl, and then my other new start for this month was Quilted Poinsettia by Heartstring Samplery. And this was a freebie this past December at the Jingle Ball. So it's just a little ornament design. It's like 49 by 49 stitches. And all the colors on there are Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works. There's a what do you call it? Oh, a DMC conversion on the chart, but I used the called for colors. And the only thing is, like, you can see on this model stitching a difference between these inner shapes, whatever you call them. But on my threads, those inner shapes they're very close in shade. You can barely see any difference at all. So they all look like they're the same color, but they're not. They're just slightly different. I should have, like, maybe, you know, gone through the threads. I think one's a Weeks color and one's a color and cotton color. I think one is raspberry, Weeks Dye Works raspberry, and the other is color and cotton used bricks, or Classic Colorworks, or whatever it's called, the CC one. But so yeah, they came out very similar. And I think if I had chosen like a different part, a different hank, a different section of the hank, you know, they might have been a different color, you know, different shading. It would have, you know, looked differently. But anyway, so this was done on 36 count, 1/2 on 36 count. This is from the Be Stitch Me grab bag that our friend Vicki sent us. She sent a bunch of little you know, pieces of fabric like this. So I thought this is really nice shade of blue to put that on. It's done on white in the model stitching, but I think it looks very nice on blue here. Yeah, so that was another finish. That was a start and finish. So I started it, I think it took me like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days only to stitch that. So that's my second finish. And then my third finish is actually, you know, it was mostly finished before. But for cross stitch camp this past August, I stitched this Starry Night Biscornu. And of course, the goal with the cross stitch camp is to start on the 1st of the month and finish by the end of the month. And I had finished all the inner stitching on the Biscornu, but I had not finished the outer, like, border stitching that you use to put the two pieces together. So I think I had done like part of the border on this one. This is the top, right, with the sun and moon and a little bit of celestial stuff in here. So I had done, I think, part of the border, but not finished it. And so sometime last 2025, I finished the border on this one on the top. But I had not done the border on the bottom piece. And so the bottom piece has just, you know, some more celestial objects. But so I had finished the border piece again in August, but I had not done, I finished the bottom part, the main stitching in this bottom piece, but I had not done any of the border. So I went ahead and finished that. So now it is completely and officially finished. So that was my finish number 3 for this month. Even though it was just very little stitching, it was still a finish. Let me move these over here so we get them out of the way. Because now I'm going to talk about the things I have coming up for March. Let me get these out of the way. What did I do with the blue flower thing? You've seen this before. I've held up this. This is the finished product of the blue flower, and this is actually going to be a pretty big Biscornu because it's like 119 um, on each side, 119 stitches. The model was stitched on 32 count, and this is 28 count. And even on 32 count, it's pretty good size for a Biscornu. Sorry, I'm trying to squish this back in the project pad. Got a mess going on here. Anyway, sorry. So at 28, on 28 count, this is going to be pretty big. I mean, it's pretty good size. So it's going to be a gigantic Biscornu. You know, and I have, I think I've got one or two that I've kept. I've done Biscornus to give to other people. But I think I have one finished of my own, you know, that I kept. Maybe two. And I've got two or three that are like that one, that are stitched but not finished, you know, FFO'd, if you will. Anyway, so that one for the blue flower is a long way to from being finished, because I still haven't even started on the back side of it, you know. And that's kind of a lot of dense stitching for the corners of that piece. But anyway, so for March, my two main whips are also from the Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods series. So the numbers for WIPGO for March are numbers 3 and 4. And on my WIPGO board, they are the Ferret and the Bear of that Year in the Woods series. So the Ferret is number 5, and the Bear is number 6 of that series. So these two are the ones that are coming, because I put them all, you know, the Year in the Woods ones are the first ones on my chart. So whenever those early numbers are called, it, you know, pulls up these. So I have the Ferret and the Bear, and the Ferret, I've done the cabin and the Ferret himself, and I just need to work on the little, you know, flowers and fronds and stuff here. And on the Bear, I've done the cabin and a lot of this greenery and cattails and stuff, and part of the Bear. So, but it's I have a lot of stitching on the Bear to go. So, and you know, nicely enough, they're on the same piece of fabric. So the raccoon I finished in January. I think came up on my January. Yeah. So I finished the raccoon in January. And so the other two that are on this set are the Ferret and the Bear. So the Ferret is complete, and it's just the flowers and other greenery that goes with the Ferret. This is part of the border that I came up with to separate the three pictures. I don't have it at all, you know, except for a nub started here between those two, but this one is a little bit bigger. But so there's the Ferret. So it just needs the flowers and, you know, greenery around it. And then the Bear has, you know, part of the little fronds and cattails and stuff done. But the Bear himself is not as far along as the others. The cabin is done, of course. But so there's a lot of stitching to do in the Bear. And we'll see how that goes. I think I could probably finish the Ferret, because it's, like I said, it's just the greenery and flowers and stuff. But the Bear, I don't know. I'm not as confident, because although you know, like a lot of the fronds and stuff are done, I think they're not all done. And then there's a lot of stitching to do in the Bear. So we'll see. But those are my March whips. And then my new starts for March are both non-cross stitch, like the diamond painting. They're non-cross stitch projects that I just put on there, because otherwise, you know, if I didn't put them on my WIPGO board, I would not get around to them. So one of them is a punch needle pattern. And this is a kit I got at Hobby Lobby for this snowman. So the hat and all the little, there's some little pom-poms on the hat and all that stuff. That's all separate. That's not punch needle. That is just the materials for it are in this kit, and you just stick it on there. So the punch needle part is this, the snowman's face. So there's it's printed. It's printed on the fabric already, and so you just punch the face and the eyes and nose and mouth on there. And so this little kit, like I said, it comes with the pattern printed on the fabric. It comes with a little punch needle. Comes with all the yarns, and then the it comes with a hoop and the stuff to make that little hat with. Comes with a printed fabric piece, a hoop, punch needle, a yarn threader, 3 colors of yarn, 1 wood shape, that's the hat, 4 felt stickers, 3 pom-poms, and 1 jute string. So that's and the jute string is to hang it, to hang the little ornament thing. And I think, yeah, it makes one 6.6 by 12.4. So it's, it's not big, it's just the size of it. Yeah, so this is one of my new starts, and we'll see how that goes. And my other new start is this little crochet kit. And I don't know what, they're very cute, and I'm not a crocheter, but I know 2 people who are. My 2 sisters are very adept at this sort of thing. So anyway, this little kit to make a snail. I have another kit that's also on this list. That's a little dinosaur. That's one of my new starts. So I have a dinosaur kit and then another diamond painting kit that's also on my list. It's another elephant. But anyway, so this is another of my March new starts. And this little kit comes with the 4 yarn colors and the stuffing and a crochet hook and a little needle, a plastic needle. And eyes, the eyes for the snail, for his, and there's instructions. And like I said, if I have problems, I can ask my sister for help. But so that's going to be my March new starts, and we'll see how I do on that. But so today I plan to stitch a little bit more on the Western. No, I keep calling it Western Woods, Winter Woods, Biscornu, and we'll see how that goes at the end when how far I can get to finish it. But so as far as Nashville goes, I think I talked about it last week about some of the things I was planning to order from Nashville, and I kind of added a few more things in the last couple of days after that. So I kind of spent a lot of money at Nashville. And I was trying to tell myself, apart from like maybe the under the sea stuff or Nashville exclusives, whatever, that most of those patterns are going to be available, in the future. Either I could order them, or maybe they'll have them at the attic or whatever. Whatever, and because the whole point of Nashville is for the designers to market, hey, buy these designs for your shop and for your customers and all that. So there are, you could pre-order, of course, for Nashville, and your whatever shop you pre-order them from, goes and fills their mail orders, and then they also buy extra for their shop, to carry in their shop. So if there are things that are for sale at Nashville that I didn't order, pre-order, then they're still going to be available, in whatever, shops. so throughout the year they're available to order and to stitch and all that. But the whole thing about Nashville is like to get you all excited about ordering, and then the new under the sea color set. Excuse me. The Cottage Garden threads. I did order the thread pack, and then a whole bunch of mostly almost I think almost all of the under the sea. I mean, all of the ones I ordered were from that under. Excuse me. And I think I ordered some other things that Top Knot Stitcher had exclusively. Like there's a pufferfish needle minder. I think I talked about this last time. A pufferfish needle, a nautilus shell thread thread keep kind of thing, and some other stuff. So yeah, when my order comes in after Nashville, um, I'll be excited to show it to you. Nashville ends on the 8th, I think it was in March. Um, so it'll be sometime after that that I will get the Nashville order and share with you. Also, middle of March or week of March, something like that. We'll see. Um, yeah, so I think that is all I have to talk about. The finishes and the Nashville plan, I mean, March plans. Yeah, and the Nashville stuff I'm waiting on for. I'm very excited to for about what I ordered. So we'll see. Uh, I think that's it. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I needed to talk about. I think that's it, though. Yeah. Yeah. So I will see you then next week, and we'll see. It'll be the first weekend of March, and I will have worked on one of my WIPGO calls for a week. I think if tomorrow is the 1st of March and I have 7 days, then by uh, Saturday, will be the 7th day on whatever I start on. Um, so we'll see how far along I get. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So I will see you next week in March. And until then, thanks for watching. Bye.